Before you give up on her, watch this. Powerful life lessons on love relationships. Let me ask you something. When did love become so exhausting? When did the person who once felt like home start feeling like a stranger? Maybe you're tired. Tired of the arguments, the misunderstandings, the feeling that no matter what you do, it's never enough. Maybe you've tried, really tried to make it work, but nothing seems to change. Or maybe you're at that point where the thought of walking away feels easier than staying. I get it. And I know you didn't come here just for relationship advice. You came here because something inside you is hurting, because deep down, there's a part of you that doesn't want to give up, but doesn't know what else to do. So before you make that decision, before you say, I'm done, I need you to hear this. Not for me, not even for her, but for you. Because love, real love, is not about finding the perfect person. It's about seeing someone at their worst and choosing to stay. It's about fighting battles together, not against each other. It's about understanding that the spark fades, but the fire can always be reignited if you're willing to do the work. This isn't just another love story. It's yours. And before you walk away from it forever, I need you to ask yourself one question. Are you leaving because it's truly over? Or are you leaving because you don't know how to fix what's broken? Because if it's the second one, this might just be the video that changes everything. Let's talk. Part 1. Why love begins to fade. Let's be real, no one falls out of love overnight. It happens slowly, quietly. One day you wake up and realize she doesn't look at you the way she used to. She doesn't text you good morning. She doesn't laugh at your jokes like before. The little things that once made you feel special. Her excited voice when you call, the way she reached for your hand first, have all faded into routine, into silence. And it hurts. So what happened? Where did it go wrong? Let me tell you something most people won't admit. Love doesn't die because of one big mistake. It dies in the absence of the small, everyday things. You see, at the beginning of the relationship, everything is new, exciting, effortless. You're discovering each other, making memories, falling in love with the potential of what you could be. It's like a fire, burning hot, intense, undeniable. But here's the truth about fire. If you don't feed it, it burns out. Love works the same way. We get comfortable. We stop doing the things that made them fall for us. We assume they'll always be there, no matter what. We take their presence for granted. And over time, love doesn't feel like love anymore. It feels like an obligation, a habit, an afterthought. This is why so many relationships fail. Not because of lack of love, but because of lack of effort. So if you're feeling like she's slipping away, before you blame her, ask yourself, when was the last time you made her feel wanted? When was the last time you made her feel chosen? When was the last time you loved her not out of habit, but with intention? Because love isn't something you just have. It's something you choose every single day, and if you stop choosing it, don't be surprised when she does too. Part 2. The Silent Killers of Love. Now, let's talk about what really kills love. Because most of the time, it's not the fights, it's not the betrayal, it's not even the loss of attraction. It's the silence, the unspoken words, the things you feel but never say. Think about it. You used to talk for hours, right? Conversations that lasted all night, where she hung on to every word you said, where she told you everything, her dreams, her fears, her stupid childhood stories. Now, it's different. Now, you only talk about what's necessary, who's picking up groceries, what time you'll be home. There are no deep conversations anymore, just small talk, followed by long stretches of silence. And here's what most people don't realize. Love doesn't die in anger. It dies in indifference. When two people stop talking, when they stop sharing their hearts, when they stop trying to understand each other, that's when love starts to fade. And the worst part? Neither of you says anything. Because maybe you're both too tired to fight. Maybe you're both too scared to be honest. Maybe you both feel like the other person should be the one to fix things first. But love doesn't work that way. Love isn't about waiting for the other person to make the first move. It's about being brave enough to go first. To say, "Hey, I miss you." To say, "I don't want to lose this." To say, "Can we talk?" Because love isn't destroyed by big explosions. It's destroyed by slow, quiet neglect. And if you let the silence win, you'll wake up one day, next to someone who used to be everything to you, and feel absolutely nothing. So ask yourself, are you letting the silence kill your love? Or are you willing to fight for it before it's too late? Part 3. What if she's still worth fighting for? Let me ask you something. If today was the last day you ever saw her, would you be okay with that? Would you be able to walk away knowing you did everything you could? Or would there be regrets? Because here's the thing about love. Most people don't realize what they had until it's gone. We take people for granted because we think they'll always be there. We assume there's more time, more chances, more opportunities to fix things. Until one day she doesn't wait for you anymore. She stops asking you to try. She stops hoping things will change. And when she leaves, when she finally walks away for good, that's when it hits you. That's when you realize, damn, she really loved me. But now she's gone. Now someone else is making her laugh. Someone else is holding her late at night. Someone else is loving her in all the ways you didn't. And it's too late. So before you let her go, before you assume she's already gone, ask yourself, is she still worth fighting for? If the answer is yes, then listen up. Because you don't win someone back with empty promises. You don't win her back with, "I'll change, I swear." You win her back with action, with consistency, with effort. You win her back by showing up every single day, not just when you're afraid of losing her, but because you genuinely want to love her better. That means apologizing when you're wrong. Not just saying sorry, but actually changing your behavior. Listening when she speaks, not to respond but to understand. Appreciating her, not just when you feel like it, but even when things are hard. Making her feel safe. Emotionally, physically, mentally, because love isn't just about passion, it's about security. Because love isn't a feeling, it's a choice. And if you still love her, choose her. Before someone else does. Part 4. When letting go is the right answer. Now, let's be honest. Not every love is meant to last forever. And I know that's not what you want to hear. But sometimes, the hardest lesson in love is knowing when to walk away. Because there's a difference between fighting for love and forcing something that's already broken beyond repair. So how do you know when it's time to let go? 1. When you're the only one trying. Love is a two-way street. If you're constantly giving and she's constantly pulling away, that's not love. It's self-destruction. 2. When love starts to hurt more than it heals. Love isn't supposed to feel like walking on eggshells. It isn't supposed to drain you, make you feel small, or leave you questioning your worth. If it does, that's not love. That's attachment. 3. When you're staying out of fear, not love. Are you with her because you love her, or because you're afraid of being alone? Because real love doesn't feel like a prison. It doesn't hold you hostage with guilt or obligation. 4. When trust is gone. You can rebuild a lot of things in a relationship, but once trust is shattered, it's never the same. And maybe the hardest truth of all, sometimes the most loving thing you can do for someone is to let them go. Because love isn't about ownership. Love is about freedom. And if holding on to her is breaking both of you, then maybe, just maybe, it's time to set each other free. Because love shouldn't feel like begging. Love shouldn't feel like pain. Love should feel like home. And if it doesn't, then maybe she's not the one you're meant to fight for. Maybe she's the one who's meant to teach you how to finally love yourself. Final thought. So before you make your decision, before you stay, before you walk away, ask yourself, am I choosing this out of love, or out of fear, comfort, or regret? Because whatever choice you make sure it's one your future self won't look back on with regret. Part 5. If you love her, do this before you decide. Before you walk away, before you say, I can't do this anymore, before you slam that door shut forever, I need you to pause, not for me, not even for her, but for you. Because once you leave, once you say those words, once you decide you're done, there's no going back. So before you make a choice that you might regret for the rest of your life, do this. 1. Ask yourself, do I still love her, or do I just hate how things feel right now? Because there's a difference. A lot of people leave relationships not because love is gone, but because they can't stand the pain, the distance, the frustration that's crept in. But love isn't just about feeling good. It's about fighting through the hard moments together. So be honest. Are you leaving because she's no longer the one, or because you don't know how to fix what's broken? 2. Write down the best and worst of your relationship. Take a piece of paper. On one side, write down everything good about your relationship, what you love about her, the moments that made you feel alive, the things that make her irreplaceable. On the other side, write down the worst parts, the fights, the pain, the struggles, the things that make you wonder if it's worth it. Now look at that list. Which side is heavier? Because when we're angry or hurt, we only focus on the bad. We forget the love, the laughter, the reasons we stayed in the first place. And sometimes, when you see it all written out, it makes things clearer. 3. Talk to her. Really talk. Not small talk. Not surface-level conversations. Not the usual, how was your day? I mean raw, honest, open conversation. Tell her how you feel. What's been hurting you? What you're afraid of. Ask her what she needs. Listen without interrupting, because maybe she's hurting too. Maybe she's been waiting for you to say something. Maybe she's afraid to lose you just as much as you're afraid to lose her. And maybe, just maybe, this conversation is the one that saves everything. 4. Give love one last, real effort. If you're going to walk away, make sure you've given it everything you've got. Not half-hearted attempts, not one day of trying and giving up the next. I mean real effort. Love her like you did in the beginning. Show up for her in ways you haven't before. Give her a reason to believe in this again. Because sometimes we think love is gone, but really it just needs to be reignited. And if after all that, it still doesn't work, then at least you'll know. At least you'll walk away with peace, knowing you gave it your all. But if you leave now, without trying, without fighting, without giving love a real chance, you might spend the rest of your life wondering, what if? 5. Remember, love should never be one-sided. Now, let me be clear. If you're the only one trying, if she's already checked out, if she's not willing to meet you halfway, then it's time to accept that sometimes love isn't enough. Because love isn't just about wanting someone. It's about building something together. And if she's not willing to build with you anymore, then the hardest, most painful thing you can do is let her go. Not because you don't love her, but because you love yourself too. Final words. Love isn't always easy. It's messy, it's complicated, it's heartbreaking at times. But the thing is, the best things in life don't come easy. So before you give up, before you let her go, before you throw away something that might still have life left in it, make sure. Because love doesn't always give second chances. And regret stays forever. Conclusion, the choice is yours. So here you are, at a crossroads. You've heard everything, the reasons why love fades, the silent killers that destroy relationships, the moments that still make love worth fighting for, and the times when walking away is the only right answer. But at the end of the day, no one can make this decision for you. Not me, not your friends, not even her. It's you. And you have to ask yourself one final question. Are you leaving because it's truly over? Or are you leaving because it's easier than staying? Because here's the truth about love. It's never easy. It takes work. It takes patience. It takes two people choosing each other every single day, even when it's hard. But you know what's even harder? Regret. Waking up years from now, realizing you lost something real. Not because it wasn't worth it, but because you weren't willing to fight for it. Because here's what most people don't understand. Real love isn't about finding the perfect person. It's about loving someone despite their imperfections. Real love isn't about always feeling happy. It's about choosing someone even on the worst days. Real love isn't about never struggling. It's about struggling together and coming out stronger. So before you go, before you walk away, before you throw it all away for good, make sure you've done everything you can. Make sure you won't wake up in a month, in a year, in a lifetime, and wonder, what if? And if you do choose to leave, if you decide that this love has run its course, then walk away with peace, not regret. Because love is many things, but it should never feel like a prison. And if you're staying out of fear, out of obligation, out of anything other than genuine love, then maybe, just maybe, the right choice is to set yourself free. So whatever you do, choose love. Whether that means fighting for her, or finally learning to love yourself enough to let go. Either way, choose wisely, because love doesn't always give second chances. And some people, once they're gone forever. Final call to action. If this video spoke to you, if it made you think twice about your relationship, leave a comment below. Tell me, what's the hardest love lesson you've ever learned? And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share it with them. Because sometimes, the right words at the right time can change everything.